Hello and welcome to Daily Politics on Trust TV. On this program, we discuss issues around politics, policy, and governance. I am Hamza Idris. Stories in various media platforms recently captured the escalating banditry activities, especially in Kaduna, northwestern part of Nigeria, which indicate the deteriorating nature of the fragile security situation in the volatile region. According to findings, already 5,135 people have lost their lives to violence in Tinubu's first 7 months in office. That is between June and December 2023. And the figures continue to rise almost on daily basis. Incidences of mass kidnappings or ransom by bandits in Kaduna State alone, ranging from the abduction of no fewer than 86 persons in Tantatu and Aguda communities in Kafana, Kajuru local government area, abduction of 287 school children of Kuriga Primary and Junior Secondary School in Chukun local government, abduction of at least 30 villagers in Buddha village, still in Kajuru, among others, accounted for over 450 persons within 30 days. This is in addition to other incidences across many states of the Federation where security agencies are currently routing terrorist elements, undermining security and peaceful coexistence through various operations across the regions. It is against this backdrop we'll be engaging with the Security Affairs Commentator and Commandant General Neighborhood Enlightenment Safety Organization, NESU, Dr. Sani Aliyu, who joins us here in the studio. We also have via Zoom from Kaduna, Dr. Muhammad Ali, who is actually a security expert also. We are going to engage them to discuss these pertinent issues, especially around Kaduna and the northwestern part of the country. Gentlemen, welcome to the program.
Thank you for having us on program.
Yes, Doctor, welcome to the program and thank you for joining us via Zoom.
Thank you very much for having me, Madam Hamza.
All right, but before we commence the conversation, here are some tidbits. The federal government has named 15 entities said to be involved in terrorism financing. They include 9 individuals and 6 bureau de change operators and firms. The Nigeria Financial Intelligence Unit, NFIU, disclosed this to newsmen on Tuesday. It was titled Designation of Individuals and Entities for March 18, 2024. According to the document, the Nigeria Sanctions Committee met on March 18, 2024. At the meeting, specific individuals and entities were recommended for sanctions following their involvement in terrorism financing. Those named in the documents for financing terrorism include the Kaduna-based journalist Tukur Mamu, who is the publisher of Deseret Herald. He is currently being tried for alleged aiding the terrorists who attacked the Abuja-Kaduna-bound train in March 2022. Also, another was a member of the terrorist group Ansarul Muslimina fi Bilad Sudan, associated with Al-Qaeda in the Islamic Maghreb. Also, elsewhere, elder statesman and leader of the Ijaw Nation, Edwin Clark, has condemned the recent killing of soldiers in Delta State, stating that Nigeria has never witnessed such a tragedy before. According to Chief Clark, the incident was shocking, barbaric, and wicked. He also advised that the communities and the military should work together to find the murderers. He made this known on Tuesday while fielding questions on a national television news program. Clark also appealed to soldiers to act with restraint and not to take the law into their own hands, noting that with modern technology, they should be able to fish out very soon those who committed the crime. We'll take a short break, and when we return, the conversation commences. Don't go away. Yes, welcome back. Yes, Dr. Sani, I'm starting with you. You have seen our 2 tidbits. The first one, NFIU. Even though, the story is now under contention because NFIU said they didn't issue any statement. And the newspaper that carried the statement said they were emailed, that the statement was emailed to them in respect to this issue of terrorism financing. But the question, we're not bothered about whether it's true or not, because in Daily Trust, we contacted the Office of the Attorney General, and they confirmed that, yes, a number of people are in court. You know, Bureau de Change Operators, Tukurumamu, and others. But if you look at the history, various administrations, they have been claiming, okay, we are going to expose terrorism financiers. Now, these names are about 9, apart from Tukurumamu. They are not known. Are you satisfied with the level of revelation at the government quarters?
Well, I don't know why it is so, because it could be because it's just at allegation level. Maybe they want to prove it beyond every reasonable doubt before they make the public known about their names.
Because they announce some names, but when we check, we Google and all that, the names are nowhere to be found. That is our worry. That are they really his sponsors?
The issue is sometimes if you can see that there are some issues of human rights abuses or something, human rights defamation of character, all those, they are involved in security, very volatile, important security, critical security matters like this. And so I think the government is being careful about giving out those names clearly without in-depth proven background on those organizations, because as much as there is just an allegation, they are not found guilty, you cannot just release their names like that. Sometimes it's only in Nigeria you see someone will be arrested and they say investigation will commence. You must, before you arrest anybody, you should have finished your investigation about that person and found him wanting on that particular issue before you arrest such person. But here you arrest and say you are under investigation. So why are you arresting such person? So
it's like setting the cat before the horse.
Yes. So I think what they are doing is just taking care and trying to do the right thing. They should be able to establish beyond every reasonable doubt that these guys are involved in terrorism financing. If you remember, it was also alleged that the former CBN governor was financing terrorism. Emefiele. So you see, these are very critical things to mention, very indicting if at the end that person is not part of that financing. So how do you clear him?
Big question, yes. Dr. Muhammad Ali, I want to have your take on this back and forth in relation to this terrorism financing. Are we really heading somewhere about it? Because I know the issue of the Bureau de Change since 2020. Now we are at 2024. We are still at the level of investigation, at the level of going to court and all that.
Well, investigation process. And by the time investigation commences, it is not something that you can, a time limit. Especially when you have to look into issues of terrorism finance, this is something that is very wide, and it also involves, it's not only within Nigeria, it concerns our treasury, because it may require people going, all over the world, maybe into the Middle East, to Europe, in order to really conclude or conduct very thorough investigation with a view to determining who is doing what, why, and for who. So people should not be worried as to why it is taking so long. I believe those involved, particularly the National Financial Intelligence Unit, I think they have to put their acts together and make sure that there is no opening at all, or to avoid creating any lacuna. So people have to take exercise some patience with the names that have just come up now of individuals and corporations alleged to be financing terrorism. I think we should accept it as it comes. All we need to do or say is the agencies involved should try to sit up and do a very thorough job so that there will be no loose ends. But as far as I'm concerned, I think the right step has been taken. All we need to do is to give our support in order for the agencies involved to do a very thorough job, so that at the end of the day, even those who are still not mentioned may still come up, because it's not just about the individuals that are mentioned. We also have foreign hands that are actually involved in this, and the agencies concerned should really look further and ensure that those foreign hands are also really nipped in the bud, and they should also be brought up, because I wouldn't want to mention it, but certainly there are foreign hands involved, particularly if we look at the issue of Boko Haram, if we look at the kidnapping of the Dabchi girls as it happened. Who are the people behind it? How did the Dabchi girls, how did they get flown from Dabchi in Yobe State to a point in Chad, in the Republic of Chad? Do Boko Haram, do they fly airplanes? The answer is no. But how and why was a chopper brought to Dabchi and picked those girls? Then after a few days, somebody comes up, a foreigner for that matter, to say he's intervening and he's bringing back the girls. And of course, the girls were brought back via a chopper. So that also needs to be looked at. And really, that person, that individual should really be brought to book. So he's not a Nigerian, but by our laws, he can still be tried, or we will take him to the International Court of Justice. So this is my take on this.
Yes, but what about when you look at comments on social media and even the back end of mainstream media, people are asking questions. You know, since the time of Jonathan, you know, any person who wants to be president will say, okay, politicians are behind the terrorism activities we are witnessing in Nigeria. I will expose them. During campaign, you see governors saying, we know it is politicians. But now, from the list we have started seeing now, not a single politician is mentioned. Who is deceiving who, Doctor?
Government needs to sit up and do the right thing, because certainly to treat in the way of your own question, certainly there are certain politicians that cannot go scot-free as far as the issue of supporting or encouraging banditry, kidnapping, and the economy of violence as it's happening today all over the country. Some politicians have a hand in it, but there are certain things, you know, we cannot say loud for very obvious reasons. But certainly, the agencies responsible for some of these issues need to really sit up and do a very thorough job. And if they do that, certainly we'll have our hands full, because it is a known thing. Even now, since this issue started some 20 years ago, no single kidnapper or informant or syndicate manager has been put to trial or even convicted or executed. Even the kidnappers, when they get arrested by the police, after a while they are released on bail when money exchanges hands. So these are some of the things that are precipitating the issue of the economy of violence as we witness today, particularly here in Kaduna. In the last 3 weeks, we've had it so bad that today, as we speak, our very young children in the primary school, as young as 8 years old, they are there in the hands of bandits. And being abducted. 287 about 60 people were kidnapped in Goningora, 30 in
okay.
3 in Tasim at Kajuru local government, and 86 in Tantu in Kajuru local government area, all within a span of 1 month. So why is this happening? Who are behind this?
Hello?
So we need to sit up and ensure that because these people are not alone. Apart from their syndicate managers, they also have informants that are actually aiding and abetting them to do what they are doing. What are we doing to actually bring some of these people to justice? Except this is done, we will see no end to this. Nobody is above the law. So whether you are a governor or a senator or a member House of Reps or even an emir, if your hands are in, you should face the wrath of the law. That is the only way we will be able to really take care of this and see an end to it. But much as people are looked upon and given the impression that they can do as they wish, certainly, then we'll have a problem. It is clear that crime is to be expected since humans are never perfect. But the failure of justice in any human society is more dangerous to society than crime itself. So that is my take, Madam Hamza.
Thank you very much. Yes, thank you, Dr. Muhammad Ali. Yes, back in the studio. Yes, Dr. Sani, you heard what he said. Of course, we are in the tidbit, but he has already now taken us into the main topic of discussion, the escalating, worsening insecurity. Would you like to say something on what Chief Edwin Clark said in relation to the killing of soldiers, in the creeks of the Niger Delta?
Well, coming from the angle of Chief Edwin Clark, it is a very disturbing situation, very sad, and I keep insisting that the Nigerian military do not have any business to do with internal security. I should think that Mr. President Tinubu should know that the contract we have with the Nigerian military is to protect the territorial integrity of our nation. And they do not have any business at all to do with internal security. I am insisting that an agency be created that will handle, that is dedicated and mandated to take care of terrorism, counterinsurgency, and other critical heinous crimes in Nigeria. Our military must be protected. They are highly trained, well expended. And before now, our military used to be one of the best ground military in Africa, the best ground military in Africa, and one of the best in the world. And before now, our military are so feared by the citizens of this country because we rarely see them. They don't mingle with the civilians. They are not, you can't see them outside. Today, the military has been demeaned because of their involvement in quelling internal crisis, where it is not given to them. That was never their contract.
But you blame the military,
and it's not their constitutional role. So what I'm saying,
yes,
the presidency and the legislatures should know that they are abusing the Nigerian military role by dragging them and derogating them to this standard of internal security management. We should protect the military. The strength of the military of any nation decides how powerful that nation is. That is why you could see recently the altercation that went between the chairman of ECOWAS, who is our president, and the military juntas in Niger,
Mali and
Burkina Faso. Yes. These smaller countries pointing their hands to us that our military could not settle Boko Haram, and they are talking about something outside. Remember, before now, Nigerian military is the stabilizer of politics, of economic and standardization of African unity anywhere in Africa. We were in Sierra Leone, we were in Liberia, and so as in Somalia and almost and other places, even to the extent that with the role we played in the independence of South Africa cannot be thrown away, cannot be overemphasized. So what we are saying is that the involvement of Nigerian military is demeaning the strength of Nigeria as a country when you are talking of defense.
But someone will say it is the failure of other security agencies.
It is not the failure, because you see, let me tell you, the fight about the terrorism and insurgency fight has not been. There is no any agency that has been mandated constitutionally to handle that. The police is to take care of internal law and order.
That is civil authority.
Civil authority. Now, this, when you are talking of terrorism, you are talking of a critical crime beyond the handling of police. There is no place in the world that police is given the mandate to handle terrorism.
Are you saying, are you trying to subscribe something like the Navy SEAL or in US?
Look at, no, the Homeland Security. When 9/11 occurred, what the Americans did, they went back to their drawing board and came up with what is called Homeland Security. This Homeland Security is now given the responsibility to ensure that there is no any act of terrorism around the United States of America. Now, Nigeria before now is the third most terrorized country in the world. And up till now, as I speak, Nigeria doesn't have any organization or any agency that is created, mandated by the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria to handle terrorism. We only have a pictorial office where they say they are talking about terrorist affairs in the country, but they don't have full soldiers. Now, we have organizations like NESO and other quasi-organizations that are into all this, assisting the military in this fight. Why, if tinubu, if Obasanjo in his own wisdom then will now see that there is a need to protect the critical installations of Nigeria by adopting then civil defense to take care of critical infrastructure and installations of Nigeria, why would Tinubu not equally find it necessary to look at this organization that are helping the military to handle this counter-terrorism and so on and so forth, and then see how you can adopt one of the organization to handle this, and then our military should be given their high place in terms of defense and kept behind the doors, and then we give them the most desirable training and let them be feared not only in Nigeria but in the whole of Africa.
All right.
Before now, can any idiot, a miscreant, face our military and to the extent of killing a high-ranking military, a lieutenant called a commander? This is an insult to our nation. It is unacceptable. It is very, very unacceptable. I'm very angered about this, and although I commiserated the Chief of Defense Staff about this thing, but then I equally said we are not agreeing with what has happened in the Delta. The government must do something about it. The military must equally take its place back.
Thank you very much. Yes, Dr. Muhammad Ali, now back to the issue precisely in Kaduna. Hundreds of people have been, abducted within span of 1 month. I remember you served as the commandant of the Kaduna Vigilance Service at the time. Where is the missing link in Kaduna, especially after the last transition when Governor El-Rufai left office and then we have Governor Obasani?
Well, the missing link occurred right from the time Nasiru El-Rufai was in office, because he did the best he could to criticize the issue of security in and around Kaduna State. Security should not in any way be compromised, or politics to be brought into issues of security, or the issue of religious or tribal differences. This was the big mistake El-Rufai did. Crime knows no religion. Crime has no ethnicity. This was what he failed to understand, and this is why months after he has left office, the problems have been there even while he was in charge, and it continued because there is no basic or sincere efforts aimed at taking care of the situation. For example, the Kaduna State Police Command, with all the funds, the security funds given to states every month from Abuja, it is surprising that you find 200,000 naira given to a command. The question is that meant to fuel the CP's vehicle, or is it expected to be shared amongst over 60 divisional police offices spread in 3 local governments of the state. So these are some of the factors that have actually created a problem. The police are the police are underfunded and understaffed, and for that reason, anything can come up. On the other side, the Kaduna State Vigilance Service is in place, but unfortunately, instead of them to encourage them to put in the best they can in assisting not just the police but other security agencies domiciled in Kaduna State, they are trying to use them for politics. And this is why where the missing links lies. Except, again, members of the Kaduna State Vigilance Service, they are not on salary. They are not on salary. Why? Last year, three personnel of the vigilance service lost their lives. Up till now, as we speak, the government of El Rufai did not deem it fit to pay a condolence visit to the families of those bereaved their families. What does this mean? Is that encouraging? So these are some of the things that has actually made the challenges of insecurity very glaring in Kaduna. But I want to believe that the incumbent governor, Senator Sani, is doing the best he can in order to correct some of these wrong precedents that have been set by the previous administration, with a view to doing the right thing so that security can be restored in Kaduna State in totality. And judging from what my colleague, Dr. Sani, said, he's talking about, yes, accepted. The military should not be involved in internal security or internal policing. But I want Dr. Sani to know for a fact that as we speak today, the Nigerian police are under 350,000. That figure is too small to police a nation like Nigeria with over 200 million people. So what we need to do is to ensure that there more hands are recruited into the Nigerian police. In about 10,000 policemen per year, I think we should recruit nothing less than 100,000 men and women. A lot of them young men who are doing so let them be recruited, get the necessary training, the right equipment, so what they are and then will be able to our previous position, because our past service personnel are doing the best they can, but the challenges are enormous. The police in particular, the police are under-equipped, they are under-trained, they are underfunded. How do they operate? So these are some of the challenges. And some weeks ago, people were talking about state policing. Our problem is not issue of creating state police. That will even create more problem. What we need is to improve understanding of the Nigerian police as currently is. We need more hands, we need equipment and training and retraining. This, if done, will certainly take charge and erase the contending problems we are facing.
All right.
Then,
yes, okay, I think we'll come back to you. Yes, we'll come back to you, so Muhammad Ali. You had him, 2 issues. The first one, which I want you to comment, and then the second one. The first, I asked him why security is deteriorating in Kaduna, especially after the handing over of government from El Rufai to Senator Sani. But it's like he disagrees with what I said, saying the problem actually started right from the days of El Rufai. But within 1 month, we did a timeline here, about 9 different incidences in Kaduna. And if you put the figures, very high.
Yes, indeed, it's very disheartening to see what is happening in Kaduna State. The situation is a multifacial situation, and they need it has to be a multifacial solution. Coming from the angle of under-equipment of the police, I agree, because if you are looking at let's take Nigeria as it is, then we come to Kaduna State. 927,000 square kilometers, approximately the land size of the whole country, with 215 million people. Total security population less than 1 million, including the army, the police, the navy, the military, the police, custom, all of them put together, including correctional centers. All of them less than 1 million people.
All of them?
All of them. And you want less than 1 million population to procure 1 million population of the security agency, yes, to procure security for 215 million people spread in the land size of about 927,000 square kilometers. Isn't it a big joke? No matter how you equip police, it's just mentioned that there are less than 300,000, or let's even give them 300,000. The police in Egypt has only about 100 million people. They have 4 million police.
4 million?
4 million police.
4 million?
4 million police.
I'm trying to emphasize.
They are just 100 million people, but they have 4 million police outside the military and other this thing. Now, if you are saying, what we are saying is, if we want to go back from where we are coming from, during the Shagari's regime, there wasn't anything called mobile police. It was Shagari that brought in mobile police. As at the time they brought in mobile police, you could see the fear in the whole citizens of Nigeria, including the military was not trusting, because mobile police was given a kind of special training to handle a lot of things that ordinary police cannot handle. So also, I'm still re-emphasizing on my position that it's not about the Nigerian police we are having now. We need to create a special agency called Counter-Terrorism Agency. This Counter-Terrorism Agency should be dedicated with finding the sponsors and financiers of terrorism, the links between all the cells, including in local and international, because the act of terrorism is national, is international, is transnational, and is local. So it's a multifacial situation that you need a dedicated agency, specialized agency, to look into the whole thing as a whole. It's not about the kinetic aspect alone. We have the non-kinetic aspect of countering terrorism. But what we are just concentrating on now is the kinetic aspect. And without this non-kinetic aspect, we cannot achieve much. Now again, look at the porosity of Nigeria's border. Nigeria, as we are today, we have 1,050 porous borders, 1,050 unmanned borders in Nigeria. So how can you control the influx of arms and ammunition? How can you, most of the people that are arrested recently, the Kachela, they are from Niger. These are Niger citizens that are coming to trouble Nigeria. We have no any standard of protecting our borders. So the borders are widely open. So if we are looking at what is the problem of Kaduna State, the problem of Kaduna State is not far fetched from the influx of foreigners that can come through Kano, through Kano, and come to Kaduna. When this ISWAP were coming to Kaduna, we gave this report. They started coming from Lake Chad. They came to Kaduna, went to Brunungwari. That time, nothing was happening. We gave this report. Nobody handled it.
Up till now.
Up till tomorrow. Even before the Kuje prison break, we gave the report of Kuje prison break.
And
nothing happened. So we are saying that you need to employ professionals, people who can go beyond the normal and get Nigerians into a safety net.
All right.
Get this country secured. We need to go out of the box. Nothing is working now. All the trials, all the military involvement, including the police, everything is failing. So we need to come out and bring out a new strategy, bring out a new agency, and give them that necessary support.
All right.
And then you see what we achieve.
Okay, thank you very much, Dr. Sani Aliyu. We'll go on a short break. Dr. Mohammed Ali, bear with us. We'll also go on a short break and we'll be back shortly. Don't go. Welcome back. If you are just joining, this is Daily Politics on Trust TV. Do well to follow the conversation across our social platforms on Facebook, Instagram, and watch us live on YouTube. We have still via Zoom Dr. Mohammed Ali, who is actually Kaduna-based security expert. And here in the studio, Dr. Sani Aliyu, he is the Commandant General, Neighborhood Enlightenment and Safety Organization, NESU. And what are we discussing? How to de-escalate worsening insecurity in Nigeria, and then with special focus on Kaduna. Yes, Dr. Mohammed Ali, a number of people still in captivity in Kaduna. You know, various, almost every family now in Kaduna is directly or indirectly affected. One of his loved ones is in custody of bandits or terrorists or whatever name we give them. Is there a connection between this mass abduction and the resolve of the Kaduna State government not to negotiate with bandits?
To some extent, yes, because the failure not just of Kaduna State government, including the federal government, say they don't go and negotiate, is what is actually aiding and giving the bandits the audacity for them to do what they are presently doing, because we must not in any way fear to negotiate, nor must we negotiate out of fear. This should be the position of government. Even the Americans that we are copying from, they do negotiate behind the scene, but they will come out and boldly and say they are not negotiating. Yes, we can go underground, negotiate, and then come out to do some grandstanding and say we aren't negotiating. Negotiation does not mean government is afraid. Rather, we are trying to get a leeway to bring about safety, stability, and security for the mass of our people. And this refusal for negotiation is because the entire thing is mated on the downtrodden. Because if senators and governors have for one time or the other been abducted and kept in seclusion for 2-3 months, I think this issue would have been dealt with since for quite a long time. But because all the people that have been kidnapped or even killed are the masses, this is why government is refusing to accept the fact that we should, negotiate. There is nothing wrong in negotiating. The only thing to observe is we must never negotiate out of fear, and we should at the same time not fear to negotiate. By negotiating, we will be able to actually be able to understand what is even the basis of these people doing what they are doing. We'll be able to have a lot of information in our hand, which we can use by the special grace of God to even end the era of banditry, kidnapping, and insurgency in our country. So there is nothing wrong in negotiating. And I hope sooner than later, the federal government and state governments will see the wisdom in negotiating with these people.
All right.
Majority of them are Nigerians. Only a few are foreigners. So we cannot say no to these people. Since they are Nigerians, let's sit down and negotiate with them. And in the process, we'll be able to know what even give back from this. Although, why some people are actually adamant about the issue of negotiation is because there are some people that are actually making a gain out of this rascality that is happening.
All right, thank you, Dr. Mohammed Ali. Oh, he soundbite there. He keeps saying there is nothing wrong in negotiation, and he said negotiation is not a sign of weakness. Do you really agree with him? And is there a difference between negotiation and paying ransom?
First of all, I stand a little bit differ from him.
Okay.
Because everything that has advantage has its own disadvantage. But you look at the disadvantage of what you are doing, if it is higher or it is low. Now, by measure, when you negotiate with these people, it means you are agreeing to a particular terms of money they are requiring from you. And then you give them this.
And you believe that there won't be negotiation without payment?
They will never accept negotiation without payment, because they are all after, they are after is about money. That's why they collect ransom. But do we have the technology, do you have the system on ground that will counter the negotiation? When you say Americans negotiate, yes, they negotiate. After negotiation, what happened? They counter that negotiation when at the point where you have released the hostage, they counter you and get at you.
You will never do it again.
You know, they will get at you. You cannot apply that whatever negotiating fund they have given to you in their country, unless you are outside the American nation. Even if you are anywhere, they will still get you based on what they have given to you. They know how to track you down. Do we have such system? The money.
Okay,
the money
let me put
that
the question this way,
yes.
Dr. Sani. Why can't we have that system here?
Because we refuse to develop our system locally.
Why? Corruption?
Corruption. You can see the National Assembly, even at the height of what is happening in Nigeria, with the total quantum of people's lives that are being killed every now and then. The idea, sharing, padding the budget and sharing the money. None of them has. Look, when you have greed, then you don't have patriotism. When you have greed, you have corruption in you, then there's no patriotism. There's no love for nation. What we are having is leadership without love for nation. It's love of pocket and what comes into my money, into my pocket. When you speak against them, they give you suspension. People's life, Nigerians, there is no premium like in America. We cannot even compare Nigeria with America, because America has placed high premium on each of its citizens, so it must protect it. They are very concerned about their citizens' life. Are we that concerned here? This is the question. This is what we are saying. We have boys, talented boys, that we can develop to create drones for us, attacking drones and so on. I have presented one of those boys to the military, a Nigerian who can develop drone and an attacking drone for that matter. It's just a young boy. I was completely in support of President Ahmed Tinubu during his campaign when he went to Benin and called all the Yahoo boys together and said he's going to open an industry for them, that they would develop criminal talent into positive national economic talent that can develop Nigerian economy positively.
Where is the concept now?
Where is the concept now? We have talented boys that when we put them together and create, just like in America, you have what they call a research center, a space research center. You can create a research center in Nigeria where you can bring in these people, these boys, these talents, so that we develop them gradually. We have boys that create planes, aerodrones, and all these things that we can do. We have people that can. We can develop our local communication system, everything. We have the capacity. Nigeria, for all intent and purposes, is one of the most educated citizenry in America. So you cannot find anywhere there is science and technology without a Nigerian being an expert in that field. What is wrong with us? Why are we so neglect of our own country? We have the capacity. Look, let me tell you. Give my organization, Kaduna State, in 3 months, you will never see any bandit in Kaduna State. Let the governor, I am challenging the governor of Kaduna State, give us Kaduna State for 3 months and give us the support we will require. You will never hear anything banditry in Kaduna State. We can do it. We don't need any machinery outside. We can do it.
All right, let me go back to Dr. Muhammad Ali. Yes, Doctor, you heard what Dr. Sani Aliyu said, that if he has his way in Kaduna, in 3 months, it will be over. You were there, you are still there, you served as the commandant of the Kaduna Vigilance. Is it that the economy of violence is what is oiling the insecurity in Kaduna and the neighboring states, and even maybe the chief executives, they don't want the problem to fizzle out? Or where is the problem?
The problem has to do with what I may regard as the need for motivation. But before I go into that, I want to correct a perception. Dr. Sani said, negotiation, when people talk about negotiation, the first thing that comes to their mind is money. No. When you negotiate, it's all the time negotiate and give money. Like in 2021, when I negotiated the release of the students of School of Agric Mechanization in Afaka Kaduna, what we did, we worked towards a swap. The now dead Buderi, who was the kingpin of the gang that kidnapped the Agric Mechanization students, we discussed with him and told him that, look, we have no money to give you, but we need these students out and safely too. He said, okay, his brother has been in captivity for 3 years. If we can give him back, he will certainly release it as 6 students. We did all we can and did the necessary things with the then IG, who gave approval that the brother be released. He was released to us, and we gave him in exchange for the 36 agric mechanization students who were released to us at Galadi in local government. So that is that. Negotiation is not just about money. So there are a lot of things you can do without necessarily giving money. Because giving them is in another way empowering them to buy weapons and so on. So, but we can do other things without necessarily giving money. And there are other things also that can be done through negotiation. And at the end of the day, we'll also get all of them arrested and be docked to face the wrath of the law. So that is that. So we look forward to welcoming Dr. Sani. He says if he's given 3 months, he will checkmate the excesses of banditry and kidnapping in Kaduna State. We hope that will be real. We look forward to having him in Kaduna so that...
All right. All right. Thank you very much. Yeah, thank you very much, Dr. Muhammad Ali, for your informed perspective. And I wish we can continue with this conversation, but we hope to have you some other time. Yes, Dr. Sani Aliyu, I wish I would give you more time, but we have come to the end of the program. But I can see you have thrown a challenge to Kaduna State Governor to give you 3 months and see the magic you can do. Or maybe tinubu should also give you Nigeria to give a try.
Well, we hope so.
All right.
Because that's what we are saying. We need a different hand and a different strategy
All right.
to do this issue.
Thank you very much, and we hope to have you some other time to discuss more on this security challenge. Yes, viewers, we've been interfacing, of course, from Kaduna, Dr. Muhammad Ali, who is a Kaduna-based security expert, and here in the studio, Dr. Sani Aliyu is the Commander General, Neighborhood Enlightenment and Safety Organization. We all discussed the 18 security challenges bedeviling Nigeria and Kaduna in particular. We hope you found the conversation engaging and informative. And be sure to join Daily Politics, airing every weekday on our special package on Friday, during which we open our telephone line for you to comment on national issues. Thank you for being with us. Bye-bye for now. I am Hamza Idris.